And if you haven't bid, those of you who, this is sorry. I'll wait for you. It's all good. If you have not been to Love the League, my name is Shelley Roars. I am your spokesperson for the local league. Thank you for coming. It's all good. I'm usually a patient person before I start cussing, but that's okay. That's for another day, right? All right, so just a couple things. Honorees, again, if you would head outside for me, get ready for that honoree parade. They're going to be dancing in here for you. Again, you are at Love the League, which is an annual fundraiser for our local League of Women Voters of the Pikes Peak region. There are a couple things going on. Actually, there's a lot going on. You had a silent auction when you came in. You also had a bunch of swag. If you came in really early, I was still wearing my swag before I got all dressed up and looking nice. So if you want any of that swag, get that on your way out. But if you have not bid on anything in the silent auction, one of the things that was kind of put away, and you might not have seen it, was that women's suffrage coin, right? 1920 100th anniversary U.S. Mint coin that is on auction out there. If you have not bid on that, please take the time to do so. You have about 20 more minutes for that. Again, thank you for coming. We're going to kind of get started with an honoree parade. If you have never been to Love the League, we did this last year for our honorees, and we will be dancing into some amazing music. So we do kind of remember that wedding procession that are really cool. People are dancing in, right? That's what we want these honorees to do, and we want to celebrate them and love them and give them all the energy that you have in this room, okay? So as we kind of iron out a few things, again, we're going to get started here in just a couple more minutes. Grab another drink if you don't mind, because I will be asking you for money later on. So the more you drink, the better we do. That's just how the philosophy is usually in fundraising. But if you don't drink, that's okay too. I'm still going to ask you for a donation at the end of the day. So thank you all for being here. We will talk soon. Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Love the League 2023. Thank you, whoever just did that. That was awesome. Pretty good. Good afternoon. I am Shelley Roars, your spokesperson for the League of Women Voters of the Pikes Peak region, and your MC today. Thank you for that. I have a pretty fun but tough job. As you can see, I get a lot of steps in an event like this, so it's pretty awesome. But it is a tough job as spokesperson, but it is also, I surround myself with great people and a great team, so it's not just myself. Today, all of our hard work, frustrations, candidate forums, endless homework assignments, voter registration drives, and dealing with me, probably not the easiest thing to do. Today is a day of celebrating. So thank you. It is the League's 103rd birthday. And it's the 103rd anniversary for women, white women's right to vote. Again, minority women did not get the right to vote until the Voting Rights Act of 1965, so we do recognize that as well. We are not perfect, but we do try to do better. In addition to the League's birthday, we're celebrating those 9 amazing women and their entourage outside. They're going to come in just a minute, but I do want to announce them. Dr. Detra Duncan, Brigadier General Kristin Goodwin, Dr. Regina Lewis, Mary Lou Makepeace, who is not able to attend today because she is sick, Annie Oatman-Gardner, Dr. Theresa Newsom, Gillian Rossi, Mollie Wiliams, and Patricia Yeager. So let's give a round of applause for those women that are still rocking it. And yes, for those that are joining in Zoom, that is a beer that I am drinking. It definitely helps me for a day like today, so I do appreciate that. We are thrilled that you are all here today joining us, whether you're here in this room or virtually. And our honorees will be joining us in a few minutes in a very unique, fun way that I enjoy myself. So you'll get the opportunity, to hear a few words from each of them. Before that, some of you may not know about the League and why you are here on a Sunday afternoon. We are a nonpartisan grassroots organization on national, state, and local levels, and our local league has been around since 1937. We as a league do not support or oppose candidates, and since its inception have helped millions of women and men become informed participants in government. Our members work on so many things. Registering new voters. If you have a business or a school that you would like to have us come in for a voter registration drive or to educate, if you live in the city of Colorado Springs, you're in the middle of an election. If you have one of those, I want you to, Dr. Terry Weber and Mollie Wiliams, she's out in the hall. Terry, raise your hand. I want you to see Dr. Weber or Mollie. They can help you get involved with that part and get us into your school or your business. Help us fill that calendar. It's not like we don't have enough to do, but we do enjoy those. Those are one of our key elements. We also have a Why Gen Z Should Vote video contest. Peg, where are you? Peg Penjum over here. If you have anyone who might be interested in that, you've got some information in your program, but I would also encourage you to ask Peg. She is our expert on that. And that's going on for Gen Z. If you don't know Gen Z, it is under the age of 26. However, our contest is for giving $1,000 away for each category, 16 to 19 and 20 to 23. So if you're in that category and you want to give a video of why Gen Z should vote, you could win $1,000. And then also, we are working our community conversations. If you were here last month's community conversation was freedom of speech. The truth and lies in the media. It's very hard, difficult for us, for the League of Women Voters from an education perspective. That was last month. Next month is domestic violence. Again, another major issue in our community. So we do hope that you will participate in those. I don't think I saw Dr. Embry. Christine, you're not here, right? Dr. Embry is our person on that team. If you have any information or want any information, go to LWVPPR.org. Our advocacy. Everyone knows about meetings and being advocacy in the government. We do not take a stance on issues unless we study them and research them. It's one of the most frustrating parts that I see with the League. However, it is one of the key elements of the League and one of the major reasons some people may consider us a liberal group. Back in 1920 and in 1965, it was liberal for women to have the right to vote. So we do kind of stand by certain things, but we just don't willy-nilly kind of pick things out of the air. So please know that that is a lot about what the League does. Speaking of advocacy, we do not have, we work hard at making sure our events are as close to zero waste as possible. I do understand that there is no recycling program here, which we're gonna see about checking that out at the Antlers, but wasn't one of our first questions. But also, just like Gillian Rossi and the Leave No Trace program, as your program's on your tables, there's a little basket out there by behind Dr. Duncan. You want to recycle that at the end of the day, but it mentions a couple things. Our silent auction, you still can get your bids in for that, but there's a two-tiered basket in the back of the room. And I do want to recognize that some individuals that work tirelessly every day. This is a volunteer position. This is not a paid position. Your League members are all volunteers. They work every day to make democracy work. So if you're on the League's admin team and I call your name, please stand and stay standing. I got Joan Hoffer. I think she was out registering people at your registration. Miss Tammy Harold, also in the back. I see Tammy in the back. Raise your hand, Miss Tammy. Anna Lopez, she's here. Miss Andrea Perry, right next to Tammy. Angela Stevens in the middle of the room is Angie Stevens. Myself, you've got Terry Weber. Terry Weber, stay standing. Angie Stevens, stay standing for me. Dr. Terry Weber. Of course, you've got Mollie Wiliams out in the hallway. They are both our co-chairs. Terry and Mollie, our voter service team. So thank you to those. Our communications chair, I'm not sure if Julie's in the room or not. Julie Ott, she was outside. Miss Julie, thank you, Julie. Julie Ott, she's also a D11 school board member, so awesome doing dual duty, whoop whoop. Our membership team chair, Sandra Collins, where are you, Sandra? Am I missing you? She out in the hall? Nope, back in the back, Miss Sandra. Thank you for all you do and your awesomeness with those buttons and anybody who helped with that. We do need to do better, it's all good. All right, so where was I? Events team chair, I mentioned Dr. Christine Embry. So another round of applause for those amazing women, and thank you for all that you do and putting up with me as well. And this event would not be possible without your fundraising team. Also mentioned in your program, Tammy Harold, Peg Henjum, Candace Lehman, Andrea Perry, Michelle Stewart, Shelley Roars, June Waller, and Terry Weber. So thank you for those fun women on your fundraising team who helped put together today. And to our sponsors, we would not be here without you. All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church, let's hear it for them. Thank you. Colorado Latinos Vote. Thank you, Chuck Montoya. Life Calibration. Thank you, sir. Neighbors for Education. Right? Myers Sewing. Thank you for being here today. Peak Auto Service. I haven't seen Michael, but he's got a Myers Sewing and Peak Auto Service have a coupon in your program, so make sure you see that. Thank you for that. And photography by Carl Urban. Where are you? Where's our photographer? There you are in the back. So if you need any photography work, check out Carl Urban. Studio 809 podcast, doing all of our Zoom and all of our technology over here, Dave Gardner. Myself, I am in my other life, and not when I'm not doing league work, I am a real estate agent with Blue Picket Realty. So thank you all of our sponsors for being here today and helping with this. All right, I'm going to squeeze through this. Silence those phones. Housekeeping items. Make sure your phones are silenced. Restrooms are located just down the hall. Can't miss them. Silent auction. We already talked about it. Take those pictures in that back photo booth for me. Tag. I know some of you don't even know how to tag on Instagram. That's okay. It's all good. Some of you do know how to do it. So for those that you do, tag LWVPPR or Love the League 2023. We also want you to be a member, right? This is a volunteer organization. We are a member organization driven. Students are free, and we are not just women, by the way. Denny's a member, my husband Dan's a member. I'm not sure who else is a male member in the room. I apologize. Thank you for that. And William Stanley, appreciate you, sir. So again, we are not just for women, and students are free. So if you are and I say this in a loving way, if you are a geek like me, and all of us that love to do this and make democracy work, please join our team. All right, the theme of the day. Besides our honorees, who are all unicorns, every one of them are unicorns. And let me tell you, you could be a unicorn too. Let me give you the definition. My dad says unicorns don't exist, but he is incorrect. If you don't know what a unicorn is, and you will have an answer by the end of today on whether or not you're a unicorn. The definition of a unicorn is a person or thing that is rare and highly valued. Another definition of a unicorn, something that is highly desirable, but difficult to find or obtain. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna tell you why I'm a unicorn in just a minute, but there are top 10 reasons. You got a minimum of 10. I came up, this was while I was spending some time back in Illinois. Top 2 are pretty easy for me. My red hair, or according to my niece, who speaks the truth, it is orange. And blue eyes. That is rare. Red hair, blue eyes. Some of those with red hair and green eyes may beg to differ with me on that, but according to some searches, red hair and blue eyes. So those are my top 2. I'm sorry, that's my number 3, my disability. I have autism. I have some major tics and Tourette's. When I get extremely stressed, I know Terry Weber and Denny and Patricia Yeager have kind of, we've talked about some things, but as I was back home spending some time with my family and some health issues with my dad, under extreme circumstances, and if I'm not taking care of my personal needs, like forgetting my medicine or not getting enough sleep, simple stuff, right? We forget those meds in the morning or at night. My tics are pretty bad. If you think I cuss in a meeting just on a regular day, whoo-hoo, those doctors in that room saw another thing coming. And some tics and Tourette's. There's some things like that that I do when I get very, very nervous. So those are my top 3 that I think make me a unicorn. And we're going to get to the top 10. So there's some area in your book that I want you to think about the things that are unique for you and why you might be a unicorn. And if you're not yet, maybe you can get there. Okay? So recognizing some elected officials that are in attendance. Obviously, we have Councilwoman Yolanda Evia, who is out in the hallway on the entourage. I believe on our guest list also is County Council Member Lojinos Gonzalez. I was not sure if you hear. Thank you, sir, in the back. Thank you, sir. Obviously, Fountain City Council Member Dr. Detra Duncan, also one of our honorees as well. So thank you very much, ma'am. Appreciate you. We mentioned School Board District Julie Ott, District 11 board member, so thank you for that. Any elected officials that I missed and that I missed you coming in their room? Any other ones? Elected officials. Perfect, very well. It is election year, as I mentioned. Candidates running for office. There are a few of you here. We truly appreciate you. One, running for office and putting your name on the ballot. It takes a special person, so you can add that to your unicorn list. Number two, all right, if you live in the city of Colorado Springs, again, 2023 municipal election coming up, ballots are issued, mailed March 10th, and you have election on April 4th. Glenn Carlson, running for Colorado Springs at-large city council member. Are you here in the room, Glenn? Yes, sir, thank you very much, appreciate you. Sally Clark, running for Colorado Springs mayor. Sally, thank you. Chapita Davis, running for Colorado Springs at-large city council member. Are you here with us, Miss Chapita? Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Chinita, my typo, Miss Chinita. Thank you, Miss Chinita. Catherine Cat Gale, are you here with us, running for Colorado Springs at-large city council member, Miss Cat? And obviously, I'm sorry, Lojinos Gonzalez, running for Colorado Springs mayor. Thank you. And David Lineweber, apologies for if I'm running for Colorado Springs at-large city council member. David, you're in the room? David, thank you, sir, appreciate you. Any candidates I missed? I apologize, I had to have a drink. Oh, Gordon Klingenschmidt, I apologize. Gordon, thank you so much. I apologize, you were not on my list, thank you, I missed it. All right, so all of the candidates are here in the room. You got your elected officials, candidate forums for the league. We have 5. It's a big election for us. March 9th through the 21st. Sponsors include 6035 Media, KRCC, Black and Latino Leadership Coalition, Colorado Latinos Vote, Colorado Springs NAACP, Citizens Project, and Latina Equity Foundation. So be sure and go to LWVPPR.org for more information. All right, we have a special, I don't think it was in your program. I apologize for the honorees out there, but we do have a special message for you that we're going to play for you for just a second. So please enjoy. We good, Dave?
Hello, League members and supporters. Congratulations on 103 years of empowering voters and a commitment to civic engagement. This milestone is a great opportunity to recognize the work the League of Women Voters does in the Pikes Peak region. Year-round voter education and registration, working for access to the ballot box, and bringing awareness to important issues in our communities. Nonpartisan civic organizations like the League of Women Voters are incredibly important to our democracy and our success. As you celebrate your birthday, it's notable that you're celebrating a number of key community leaders as well on this special occasion. Congratulations to those leaders being honored today for making a positive difference in our community. As I noted in my State of the State speech last month, we should build on our successes rather than rest on them. Thank you and the League of Women Voters for making a difference, and let's look forward to making an even bigger difference over the next century. And if I might add, while you might be 103 years old, you don't look a day over 29.
All right. As Dave, sorry, Dave. You good? I can yell, but I don't want to. All right, as we celebrate the League of Women Voters and honor these 9 incredible leaders of our community. I ask that you become a member of our local league, make a one-time or recurring donation, and help us continue our voter education and advocacy as we work to get ready for city elections and midterms, or excuse me, the fall elections are school board. So if you literally within 1 year, there are 3 elections for us. So it's awesome, but we do love it out of a passion. So let's get ready because we are all in this together. Dave, are you good on the music?
I'm trying to log into your phone again.
Yes, sir. I'm going to wait for you until my final sentence because it all goes with the music. We are all in this together because sometimes we need to be nasty. Kind of give you a reference to our music choice of sometimes we need to be nasty. Sometimes we need to be brave. And baby, we were born this way. So I'm going to go and dance with them because then we're going to announce them. Actually, I can't. I got to stay up here on this microphone. I should have had the lavalier mic. No offense, Dave. I should have. Are you ready for music?
I think so.
Okay, go ahead. You're good. All right, your first one. Come on in, Dr. Detra Duncan and her entourage. Let's go. Stand up and dance. You can dance. Turn up that music for me, Dave. Dr. Detra Duncan. You can dance too, everybody. Get up. You want to do it. You know you love this song. Nice. That's it. There you go. All right. Dr. Detra Duncan, everybody. Here we go. Brigadier General Kristin Goodwin and her entourage. Nice. Woo! That's awesome. All right, here we go with your next honoree, Dr. Regina Lewis and her entourage. Sorry, that was my fault. All right, here we go. And Dr. Theresa Newsom and her entourage. Love it. She got it. Look at that. Look at all those people. Nice. All right. Hey, Dave. Dave, Mr. Dave Gardner, would you mind skipping to the next song? Because I'm already on. Would you mind? All right. That was Dr. Theresa Newsom. Everybody give her another round of applause while we get that music going. Thank you very much. All right. Annie Oatman-Gardner and her entourage. Here we go. Nice. All right, that was Annie Oatman-Gardner and her entourage. Round of applause. All right, next one coming up. I believe I got, hold on a minute, here we go. Is it Gillian Rossi and her entourage? Gillian Rossi, everybody. Nice. Awesome. Awesome. Gillian Rossi, everyone. All right. The one, the only, our own Mollie Wiliams. That's awesome. Seriously, you are so awesome. Mollie Wiliams, everybody. All right. Our last honoree for the day, we did mention Mary Lou Makepeace is gone and sick for today, so our thoughts are with her, but Miss Patricia Yeager and her entourage. Another round of applause for our honorees. Thank you so much, everybody. Switching things up on you a little bit over here, right? So you're the part of the program where our honorees now get to get up and say a few words, right? So as inspirational as they are to me, and I've gotten to meet a couple of them, the podcast, they're going to get up here and tell you a little bit about why we chose them as honorees. And just to give you a little bit of background, would it be better to do the podium? We good? Okay. It comes out of your fundraising committee first. That's who it gets nominated through. And then from the nominating committee, our league members vote, right? We are a democratic organization. So then it starts with 20, and then we usually end up with about 9 or 10 who are available to attend. So this is the second year that we've done this. So I'm going to invite each of the honorees up to this microphone, if you wouldn't mind. We're going to kind of go in alphabetical order, but we're going to do a little different. So just an FYI. All right, but I am going to say, and I say that alphabetical order from the back. Okay? So you came out in alphabetical order from the front, right? So we're going to change things up a little bit because we call it fair and balanced, right? Those of you who are in the end, Patricia Yeager, you're first, just an FYI. So you're going to come up just to this microphone. Give everybody, just tell us, like me, I've gotten to know you a little bit more. Tell everybody why we love you. So, all right, honorees, you're on the dot. Miss Patricia Yeager, you're first. Thank you.
Well, I believe in good trouble. I'm a person with a disability. I'm a part of the disability community here in the Springs and around the country. And I want to talk a little bit about voting, how important voting is for people with disabilities, because for many years, we could not vote on the machines that are now available. And in 2000, or rather 1999, I stood at the Secretary of State's office in California to demonstrate against those people who believe that electronic voting machines should be trashed. But without those electronic voting machines, we do not have privacy. We cannot mark our own ballots, many of us, those of us who can't see very well, those of us who can't hold a stylus. There are many reasons why we need an accessible voting machine. And I'm really pleased to say that these machines are now in use around the country. And they're always subject to people saying, we got to get rid of those voting machines. And if you do, you disenfranchise many people with disabilities. Think about asking your spouse or your partner to mark your ballot for you. Probably not, I'm thinking. So it's really important. Those machines are important. Equally important is the Blue Book. And I'm a big fan of the Blue Book because it's nonpartisan and it's information that we all need to be able to make a good decision about voting. So making democracy work is about including all of us, including people with disabilities, even those who have functional limitations that don't that believe that just because I can't see very well or I have arthritis, I don't really have a disability, but I can sure use that machine. Well, you have a disability and we welcome you to use those machines. Thank you so much for recognizing me and our work to help people with disabilities be included in this community. And the vote is only one step to doing that. Thank you so much.
I seriously have a fun job. It's pretty amazing, actually. All right, our next honoree is, and I'm sorry, I forgot. Jamie Johnson is also a candidate. We forgot to mention him as well. He is in the back of the room. He is an at-large city council member, so running in the municipal election. So thank you, Jamie, for that. We appreciate that. And your next honoree, our very own, someone who I aspire to be when I grow up someday, Miss Mollie Wiliams.
Thank you. Thank you all. I'm really not sure why I was nominated, except that I'm in my 90th year, and I figured they must want to do it before I pass on. But I have worked with the voter service, and we do like to get out into the community and register voters wherever we can through the libraries. And I must say, if you haven't seen our Vote 411 bookmarks, they have, when you go to Vote 411 on the internet, you can get the candidates' views on things. So we like to promote people registering to vote, and also if they change their address, they can also go on the Secretary of State or go votecolorado.gov to vote online, or not to vote, but to register to vote online. So if you know of anybody that hasn't registered, that tell them that they can do that themselves, or they can go to one of our booths when we have our voter registration drives. So thank you very much. I appreciate the nomination.
She doesn't know why she was nominated, but she literally just listed all the things that she does. Vote 411, voter registration drives, everything goes through Mollie's team, and it's pretty big. So thank you, Mollie, for being all that you are. So. All right, again, I expect you to be writing down your unicorn reasons. You should have at least one or two, I would think, for yourself in that book for you. But the next up is going to be telling us a little bit about herself, Miss Gillian Rossi.
Hello, everyone. I am extremely nervous and humbled to be in a room full of fantastic female leaders. I'm Gillian Rossi. I'm a senior park ranger with the City of Colorado Springs, and I am your Leave No Trace state advocate for Colorado. So, thank you. So I lead a team of 7 full-time park rangers across our regional park system. We're at the Trails Open Space and Parks properties. Those are the TOPS properties that you get to play on. So Red Rock Canyon Open Space, a majority of the urban trails system, Stratton Open Space, Bluestem Prairie Open Space, and all of our rangers are soft enforcement, which means we are education only. So we have to be really good at talking to people and convincing them to change their mind. And so one of the tactics we use is Leave No Trace. So we provide Leave No Trace education through youth programming. When we're on the trail, we have it on our social media sites. And we also pursued the Leave No Trace Gold Standard site status for all 19 of our regional parks, trails, and open space properties last year. It's a pretty tough award to get. I will say only a handful of parks in Colorado have the gold standard site status, less than 20 parks across the country. However, as of June 11th, 2022, all 19, and I'm going to amend that, 16, dream big, right? So all 16 of our regional parks, trails, and open space properties became Leave No Trace gold standard site properties. Thank you. This took a huge team. I was happy to lead the charge with my Leave No Trace background, which started in Arkansas at Arkansas State Parks, Pinnacle Mountain State Park, if anyone's familiar with the Little Rock area. But we were thrilled to receive this and literally set the bar for stewardship practices across Colorado. The Springs is growing. We all know that. By 2050, will be larger than Denver. So we want to make sure that all of our folks who are visiting our parks and even walking through neighborhoods in the Springs know how to practice Leave No Trace. I won't preach it or anything, but it is not common sense. So I do recommend going to lnt.org and checking it out. And before I head out, I do want to mention that my mom, Buffy Rossi, is here with me this afternoon. And I do attribute my relentless optimism and my patience to my mom. So just really happy that she was able to make it this afternoon. And thanks, everybody.
Welcome, and thank you for being here, Mom. We appreciate you today, too. All right, so I'm going to break for just a second, because next up is Dr. Newsom, and then Ann Oatman-Gardner, and then Dr. Lewis will be right after that. So just kind of who's on deck. 3 more unicorn reasons for me. Number 4, I am a leap year baby. I am 12 3/4 years old. I know. Hell yeah, right? Woohoo! I know. So for my birthday, I want you to donate to the league. That's what I'm going to be asking you to do. I know. So that's my number 4. My number 5, I am royalty. My husband, Dan, treats me like a queen. And it is very rare, seriously. And just like my father treats my mom. So I found someone who treats me like royalty. So thank you. Number 6, my giving back mentality. I was an early enlistment in the military where I met my husband. And my volunteer time, obviously, I do like to give back more than I actually like to work. So then I actually get paid for. But anyway, and sometimes I do go overboard. So those are my next 3 unicorn reasons for me. And next up for your honoree, Dr. Theresa Newsom. So come on up, please.
Good afternoon. I am thrilled and honored to be a part of this League of Women who are being honored today. It is truly a joy to be with phenomenal women. And even though some of you have not been recognized yet, you know in this room, without a recognition, you are still a phenomenal woman. And we know our young people are in this room. And the young people in this room, I'm going to talk to you mainly because I'm an educator. And as an educator, you are our future. And so I went into education inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And with our young people and me being an educator, my passion is to empower you to use your voice, speak up, speak loud, and speak proud, because we are touching the future. My colleagues who are being honored and those who have come before me, but also you are the generation that I live for. With you, learning to be a part of this league, hearing these women's testimonies, you can make that difference. You will take it further than I can ever take it. And so as I continue to do the work in education through the Literacy Festival that's coming up, I gotta put a plug in because that's a leadership opportunity for kids. Middle school and high school students have presented their expertise for the last 9 years. Our 10th Literacy Festival is on April 22nd. And we're looking for young people, and our youngest presenters were 8 years old last year, teaching chess, teaching nutrition. And one of my 9-year-olds this year, who she had been working with us, said, "Dr. Newsom, I'm teaching no-bake cookies because that's a science activity, and I'm bringing science to the Literacy Festival because we are STEAM, STEAM with a triple M. And we know that that STEAM means science, technology, engineering, art, and math. But we took it to another level because I teach gifted education and I like to be out of the box. So it's music and movement. So you're like, what's the 3 M's? Math, music, and movement. And so I don't want to leave out our young people because they are the future. As an educator, we know they are going to take it further. And again, that's my passion. That's my love. And then my other love is my husband, who's videotaping, of course, 42 years. 42 years he has lived with my creativity and my out-of-the-box thinking as he takes me on road trips around the country so I can get inspired. And then my students say, you come back with these crazy ideas. And I said, well, are they crazy or are they just different? Because we all want to be unique in our own way. We don't want to be clones. All of us give back to our community in so many different ways. And without each of us doing what we do best, we wouldn't be where we are today. So thank you so much, Andrea Perry. Thank you for nominating me. Thank you for the League of Women Voters for feeling like I could be one of your honorees. Thank you for the pleasure of being here, and for my guests. And I know many of you, so even though you weren't my special guests necessarily, you're special in my heart. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of the program as you hear from other ladies. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Newsom. And again, one of the great things that I get to do is I get to meet each one of the honorees on a podcast. So we've already had our conversation. So nice to see you again, sir. And it takes a village, right? Even when you think you're kind of out there. I'm going to go back to that disability. We all have unique talents. We all have gifts. So thank you for that. All right, next up, Miss Annie Oatman-Gardner, come on up.
So thank you so much. And when I first got started in 1993 in politics in Colorado Springs, it was really the League members who were mentors of mine. So it is really lovely to be back here again. And I did, as you can see, went down a little memory lane to prepare for today, and really had a pretty good time, and wanted to just talk a little bit about where I've been. It's also really fun for me to be here today because next month I'm going to retire as a staffer from United States Senator Michael Bennett's office after 15 years. And so, yeah, thank you. And so the memory lane is actually very encouraging to know that there's going to be something when I get done with this particular job and really come back into the community. But when I started in 1993, there were 208,000 registered voters in Colorado Springs, and only 8% voted by mail at that time. By 2004, total voters registration had added another 114,000. We'd been growing. 46% registered Republican, 31% unaffiliated, and 21% Democrat. And there were 6 smaller parties on the ballot at that time on those ballots. 20 years later, here we are. Registration has increased another 40%, but now the unaffiliateds are at 48%. The Republicans are at 32%, and the Dems are at 18%. And the smaller parties now equal 8 on the ballot, with only 2 of them from that 2004 time period, which are the Libertarians and the Greens. So people emerge with their platforms and their parties and get on the ballot. My history in politics speaks to the importance of the League, certainly, as an enduring organization across all this time, because it's the work year after year that helps us all bridge through all of that and all of our own memories, and of course before. In 1995, we lost the tops election by 1,500 votes, but won in April of 1997 by about 3,400 votes. And certainly technology, and again, memory lane, technology on the night of that tops victory, we were all down at City Hall, and they were calling out, bringing out the numbers on a pad of paper, and they were putting them up on a board on a little sticky pads. And then every time the new vote came in, they'd rip off that sticky pad and they'd do up the next vote. And when we won that election, the dear friends who were part of that picked up the final 2 tallies of yeses and nos, which 28,000 yeses put us over the top in 1997. And I have those framed, which is really part of history, right? Because technology, look at what technology has done for us. It has raised our expectations, but has also raised the conspiracy, right? And the ability to reach conspiracy. And the League is so important for us to combat that and to be able to have that voice of real stability and trust through all of that we're seeing. We lost big in 2000 with a county initiative to improve transit, but we won dedicated funding for our local transit system in 2005 as part of the PPRTA. And I really want to thank Yolanda Avia, who this year, when they were doing the renewal of the 2022 PPRTA, fought to make sure there were components for transit in the ballot and made it in the ballot. Yes. Yeah, and that's how you build on your successes. We were in there in 2005, and Yolanda was able to take advantage of that and continue to help improve our transit system. So then it was in 2008 that I got a front row seat to national electoral politics, and it has really been a privilege to work for a man, U.S. Senator Michael Bennet, who is so committed to democracy. He has just three of the things. The most recently is his commitment to in making permanent the child tax credit. He has been a leader in preserving the unique Colorado landscape, and he is known as a champion for immigration reform. It is his commitment to our democracy that has been incredibly inspiring, and one of his favorite quotes is certainly the Benjamin Franklin well-known quote when asked after a session of the Constitutional Convention. Benjamin Franklin was asked, "What kind of government have you given us?" And he replied, "A democracy, if you can keep it." And certainly what we're living through now. On the first anniversary of the January 6th Capitol riot, Michael said, "This is our choice. We either save this democracy, which I believe we will, or we let it go." And I think we need to ask ourselves at a moment like this what we owe the generations of Americans that have fought to make this country more democratic, more fair, and more free. What do we owe the 158 million Americans? And what do we owe our kids and our grandkids? I think the answer is very clear, which is a stronger democracy, an economy that works for everybody, not just the people at the very top. And where do we begin? And so in March of that same year, in 2021, he sponsored For the People Act, which would restore the promise of American democracy by addressing voter intimidation and suppression, ending corporate power of corrupting power of dark money, and ending partisan gerrymandering. So I hope you will follow Michael, because there are so many good people who are at those levels who really are working to make change. But it is the work that the League is doing, and all of us do here at home, where we turn to our neighbors and say, I think you should be supporting the things that I believe in, and here is why. And that is not done in Washington. That has to come from the ground up. So thank you.
Thank you, Annie. Appreciate it. All right, next up, this is an inspirational conversation. Whew. I'm going to just go ahead and introduce her, and then we'll get to the next three reasons, unicorn reasons. Again, Mary Lou Makepeace was one of our honorees this evening. She would have been in the next order, but she is ill and unable to attend, so we do wish her the best. But our next honoree to speak, Dr. Regina Lewis.
Wow. First of all, I want to say thank you. This is an incredible honor to be here. It really is. Just this year, I became Professor Emerita as I rewired from Pikes Peak State College. And when you retire, then you want to make sure that you are still relevant. And when I received the call letting me know that I was going to be an honoree, it was amazing. It filled that void. And so I do thank you. It means a lot. As I talk to you this evening or this late afternoon, I want to tell you that some of the things that make me a unicorn is it took me a long time to vote. I didn't begin voting until I was in my mid-30s. I didn't understand about voting. But I know one thing. As a single parent, I made sure that my son understood very well why he needed to vote. I always tell our youth and people just like me, own your vote. Because if you don't own it, someone else will. 58 years ago, we finally received the Voting Rights Act. And 58 years ago, it was a struggle. This is a very appropriate time to talk about voting. This is Black History Month. This means a lot. It means a lot. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, "So long as I do not firmly and irrevocably possess the right to vote, I do not possess myself." Voting is owning yourself. But unfortunately, many of us don't know who we are. We have to start in that place. When we can talk to one another and let us know who we are and what we own about ourselves, then we will know what to vote for and whom to vote for. This is what's most important. And so when you go along and you talk to the youth, when you talk to people who are standing next to you and they give up on voting, when they don't believe that they can vote because they don't have a voice to vote, tell them that they have something to vote for, and that is themselves. And so when you know yourself, you know what to vote for. Dr. Geneva Gay says, intention without action is insufficient. Let's get the action going. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lewis. So for those of you that don't know, in the conversations that happen with the honorees, a lot of them are like, well, what do I expect when I come to Love the League, right? One of the things that I tell them is I expect for me, as the president, spokesperson is the role, it's / president. They did away with that role a long time ago. I need some inspiration. As we go into a municipal election where you may get 30% if you're lucky candidates, no offense, no, but it's realistic. When you're talking 30% turnout, it makes our job very difficult and very frustrating, and it just pisses me right the fuck off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's that Tourette's right there. Patricia, that's the Tourette's. It makes me mad. So I apologize. Language, I know my husband's right there with me. There aren't any children in the room. I apologize to the children in the room. I apologize to the children in the room. Excuse me. And you just add to the jar. I do. I'll pay that jar. I will. I have a jar at home for my children as well. It's awesome. I apologize for that. Okay. Woo! Okay. Here we go. Dr. Duncan, you're up next, actually. I know we're not going in straight alphabetical order, but you are up next, just an FYI. 3 more unicorn reasons, because I know you're keeping track. Number 7, I have a photographic memory, somewhat. Kind of like my dad. I found out when I was back home, I could remember names, I could remember tests, I could remember everything that was happening in the whole dichotomy of what was going on. And it scared people. It actually did, because it made them think, what did I do wrong? What was I not realizing? Because it just happens. One of those things for me. Number 8. This is a fun one. I am able to stand up to authority or people in power and not be nervous. That's just me. I love that about me, actually, because not a lot of people can do that. I've got 4 siblings, there are 5 of us total. Out of 5 of us, I am the only one who is able to do that. So it makes me unique. Go get it. Thank you. Number 9. This is the shirt I was wearing, I think it wasn't. I was wearing Grab 'em by the ballot. Number 9, I know that's our shirt out there. Voting is my superpower, right? Everyone in this room, you have a superpower if you vote. Thank you, Miss Judy in the back. So those are 3 more unicorn reasons. You're up to 9 if you haven't been keeping track. I got 1 more. It's pretty special. All right. We're up to number 7 on our honorees. Dr. Detra Duncan, come on up.
So good afternoon to everyone. I just want to say that I am mostly humbled that when I got the call from Shelley, I thought, me? Why would they be voting for me? And I am extremely honored to be here today. I got involved with the League of Women Voters because of voting, because every vote counts. Every vote counts. This is my first election as Fountain City Council at large. I won, the first African American, the first Black, however you want to say, to win in the city of Fountain, Colorado Springs City at large. And before I continue, I want to thank my ride or die, my husband, my soulmate, my best friend, because without him, I don't know what I would do, right? We complete each other. God made him for me and me for him. I know that. So when I ran for city council, the votes were probably 2 votes apart. My phone was blowing up. I was at work and I could not concentrate at work because the votes were so close. And I had people calling me that I didn't even know had my phone number, that I didn't even know knew me. Every vote counts. When I say every vote, I mean every vote. It took several days of being with the anxiety, saying that, you know, when there is a runoff election, your city pays for that runoff election. I have been learning a lot since day one. Your city pays for that. I get a call from the city clerk saying, this is what's going to happen. The next 2 hours, I get another call saying, well, they did the votes and you won by so many. I didn't know what to do. And I just thank God that I won that election and that the people of Fountain decided that I was their choice. I decided to run again for the city of mayor, for the seat of mayor for the city of Fountain. Every vote counts. I lost that election by 180 something total votes. Not because there were no votes. I lost the election because they were pulled ballots for signature discrepancies. We talk about voting, but we don't talk about signature discrepancies. When you sign your name to your driver's license, to any other legal document, you should also sign your name the same way to your ballot. And if you don't, it will not count. It is not necessary for the El Paso County to send you a certified letter saying that your vote did not count. You may or may not get the ballot. Liz, who is here, told me, well, didn't you chase the ballots? I said, well, I'm going to do it now. I went to 180 something homes of people who may not sign their ballot, right? I didn't meet every single person. Some people told me they never got the letter. That is something that we need to change. We need to change the fact that you turn in your ballot, there's a problem with your ballot, there's a letter sent, and you may or may not get it. That is something that we need to change. Every vote matters. Every vote matters. And I can't say that enough. Your voice is your vote. If you don't vote, you don't have a voice. If you don't sign your ballot correctly, you don't have a vote. and no one is going to come knocking at your door and say, you did not sign your ballot correctly. It is up to you. And I can't tell you enough how a candidate who is looking for your vote can sit and say, my God, can you please sign your ballot? So I just wanted to add some humor into that. I just want to say some kind words about this community coming together in this room the way that you have. It inspires me, and I just can't thank you enough for the shoulders of the people before me, not only many hundred years ago, but right here on this list before me, the shoulders that I stand on. And I thank each and one of the honorees for being an example for me, because I have met them in some way or another through the League of Women Voters, going to high schools, registering kids to vote, or some other way. I can't thank the League enough for being here as much as they are. Because of the League, I have not only been concerned with voting, but I've been concerned with these municipalities and what we have as, well, we have HOAs, and then we have metropolitan districts. If you live in a metropolitan district, raise your hand. You need to know that you have until February the 24th to self-nominate your name on the ballot for League of Vote, for the Metropolitan District. The League of Voters has an awesome program, an awesome webinar that you can participate in to get you information about where your dollars are and where they're being spent. You need to know in metropolitan districts, they can help with our roads, and they can help with amenities in our community. And if they're not doing that, you need to be on the board, you need to be at the table, and you need to be making decisions about where your taxpayer dollars are going. I can't say that enough. I live in a metropolitan district. I have not received a ballot. I have not been told about the election. We need to know where our monies are going. And the League of Women Voters educates. That is my reason for being with the League, because they educate. And I love the education piece about the League. She's close, so that means I need to stop. Thank you.
Seriously, communication tells you what's going on. Thank you, Dr. Duncan. So that kind of actually just brings up something. Is Steve Schleicher, our El Paso County Clerk and Recorder, in the room? Did I miss him? He was RSVP'd for today. I did miss him. So a few League members are having a meeting with Steve Schleicher, the El Paso County Clerk and Recorder, and Sarah Johnson, your City Clerk and Recorder, as well, on Tuesday. So exactly what you were saying, the League is doing. So if you are interested in any of those things that Dr. Duncan was saying about those participation and getting those people on board, that's what we're doing. So thank you. Thank you so much. All right. I forgot a couple of minutes ago, I was supposed to remind you about silent auction items. I apologize. If you are a silent auction item, you put your name in for that. If you want to, you've got a couple more minutes. I'm sorry, my beer is a little bit more important today. It's 3:53, so we're going to kind of make sure you want to get those auction items, your bids in as well. And then our final honoree speaker. Sorry, she's Air Force. I'm a bit biased towards Air Force, so yay, Air Force, go blue. Brigadier General Kristin Goodwin, please.
Wow, well, thank you very much, Shelley. I feel like we need to do the 7th inning stretch or something, right? Yep. So Shelley said that we have time, so for the next half hour, I'm gonna kind of share some thoughts. I'm just kidding. But I really just want to say thank you for giving me this honor, and just share just a couple thoughts with you. When I grew up, my folks told me to give my very best at every single thing that I did. Okay, well, every parent says it, right? I tell my 2 little kiddos that all the time. But, joining the Air Force, that kind of reinforced that. But there's another added thing to that is doing your very best when nobody's looking, right? And making sure that you're doing the right thing. And that's how I try to live my life. That's how I try to set an example to those that I work with, but also to my girls and to my friends. And so I have no idea what I did, who was watching, or how I got here, but thank you is the first thing I want to say. I also want to say that I am truly humbled and honored to be with such incredible leaders that I've had the wonderful opportunity to meet tonight that make a huge difference in our community every single day, that have such a heart to give, to serve, to make a difference when it's not easy. So I just want to applaud all of the honorees tonight and say thank you for what you're doing. So thank you very much. I also want to say thank you to each and every one of you here tonight, because you came to support those honorees. You came to be their support while they were making a difference in the world, to be there when they were having potentially, tough times or struggling or trying to figure out what to do next, or they had a hurdle they had to overcome. You were their strength. And so for that, I want to say thank you for each and every one of you, because what you've done is you've inspired them, you've inspired me to be the very best and continue to go forward to make a difference when it's not always that easy. And so while sometimes you think, well, gosh, I just did a little bit, those small acts, make a big difference in the lives of other people. So to each and every one of you, thank you, because we all can have an impact in our community and what we do every single day. So I want to say thank you to my friends and family behind me, and I feel bad because of my back to them. So I'm sorry. This is the best view of me right here. So my family have been not just blood. Serving 32 years in the military, I've traveled 26 times. That's including when I was a kiddo. My folks were both in the service. And so of those 32 years, I spent 4 years at the Air Force Academy to a fellow grad over there in 92. And in that time, I was 25 years old when I realized that I didn't really fit the mold of the Air Force. I wasn't what they pictured me to be. I flew, I loved what I was doing, and I was, I thought I was kind of good at it. I loved it. I had this career, I had this passion, I had this drive. But at the age of 25, I was living under this policy called Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and I fell in love with a woman. And so I don't know about you guys. Maybe you guys always wanted a family. Maybe you've had a family. Maybe you have grandkids. Well, I just happen to be one of those people that also wanted a family. My story is I had to wait 14 years. At the age of 39, when a doctor with a little bow tie said, "Oh my gosh, you have geriatric inside, you're not gonna get pregnant," I was freaking out. And I go, "Oh my gosh, I better try this," right? And so I tried, and the first time I got pregnant. My story is, though, I had to hide that for 5 months because I was still under Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I was working for a 4-star, and I was trying to hide it, and I was drinking bubbly water so that he would think it was something else, so I wouldn't give it away. Anyway, I share that story because we all have a journey, right? And today I have behind me 2 little individuals that have inspired me, are my heroes. One is 11 and one is 9. They both had their birthday. They're 2 years apart. And, for many people, you can go out, get married, have kids. I mean, it's not so easy for others, okay? And so Sloan and Slater have been my inspiration. Yep. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, being an older parent, although I'm 29, is wonderful because you get to learn so much. And, being a wing commander of, 5,600 people, sometimes the 30 and 40-year-old, guys, are don't act as good as 9 and 11-year-olds. So I've learned a lot in my career, and And I am grateful for every step of that journey. And last year, I had the great honor of meeting my best friend and my wife. It only took me 50 years, but, and I'll tell you, I thought I was just going to be a single parent, and I was okay with that, at that point. But because I don't know about you, but the list that she had to meet and check off. You use the term unicorn. I use that all the time. She's a mythical unicorn that I don't know where she came from. But she's now completed my family, our family. And I am so grateful for that. And right now, today, I'm living my best life. But I think the story that I'm trying to share with you is, I serve in the military. And get this, it took me about 20-something years to figure this out. I fought for the very freedoms that I didn't have. Isn't that crazy? Right? I sat at the table and heard things that were against me. And I still stood up and did the very best that I could. I stood up and tried to do the right thing. My heart was never full of anger. My heart was full of compassion and trying to make a difference. And so that's what I've tried to do. And RBG, if I get that, I'm a little dyslexic. She always said, fight for the things that matter, right? And I have a poster in my house that I want my girls to see every day. And having kids when it wasn't popular and coming out right after Don't Ask, Don't Tell was not easy. But I had to step out and be the courage and be the leader that we were asking others to be. Right? And walk and do that. And so I am exceptionally blessed that I have a teammate that we laugh and are goofy and tell really bad dad jokes all the time to walk this journey with me. And I will lastly say that, I've had an amazing career in life, and I'm grateful for that. I've also had a lot of speed bumps, some bigger than others. And I would not trade any hard time or any rough lesson for a good one, because it was those tough lessons and the smooth lessons that brought me to where I am today and who I am today, and have the opportunity to meet each and every one of you. So thank you.
Are we good? Okay. So now you get to see the reason why I have such an amazing job, and we get to learn about these amazing women. I am so grateful to be able to get to know each of you a little more today. For those of you who have been on our podcast, and if you haven't been on the podcast, I'll get to know it, get you a little bit more. But in 10, 20 years from now, when these pictures show up on your social media feeds, because they will, right? You get those every now and again, you know that. We'll be able to smile and remember what an inspirational day this was. So thank you to all of our honorees. Can we give them all another round of applause, please? Woo! There you go. That's right. We are a little bit behind, but I do know that that's okay. With my autism and my tics, it's okay. I do know that. Thank you for everyone for coming out today in person or virtually if you are joining us via Zoom. Thank you to our honorees. All of you are special and obviously hold a special place in the League of Women Voters' hearts. Our sponsors, thank you very much. Again, we could not do this without you. Silent auction donors, if you gave for those silent auction, even if it was $20 for an item, it's special to us. So we do appreciate you donating in that way, and all of you here for being here today. So thank you for that. So give yourselves a round of applause for coming out. Thank you. All right, we have 2 items that we're going to finish up with. We have a free giveaway, right? Nothing that was paid for. And we also have silent auction winners. I know Miss Andrea and Michelle are coming up here with that. For those of you that were honorees, you have special things. So let me give some housekeeping items. Honorees, if it's wrapped with a blue ribbon, Thanks to Denny and Terry Weber, you have a plant to take home with you that can be planted somewhere else. So again, we're all about being environmentally conscious. So honorees, I need you to take one of those plants home. Okay? That's a good thing. So number one. Number two, honorees also, or if you're in a table that does not have an honoree, the centerpieces in front of you are to give away. So if you're an honoree, you can either choose who to give it to, okay? Or if you're at a table without an honoree, you are to choose, let's say, the youngest person in the group. That's what we're going to do this year. Last year, we did the oldest person in the group. This year, we're going to switch things up again. The youngest person in the group, because we love those people who are young in our group. Again, apologies for the profanity. One of those things. Okay, so honorary gifts, plus your plaque. You see your love plaque. Everybody's got a love plaque. So let's do this, two things. The youngest person gets the flowers. The oldest person gets the plaque. Whoop, whoop. Look at there. Love it. Okay, I know. And I forgot. Okay, so winners for silent auction and our winner for, so you've got two gift basket. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so your winners for your silent auction items, the pottery piece donated by artist Cindy Smith. Julie Ott. Yay, thank you for that donation. The miscellaneous jewelry donated by Andrea Perry. Miss Stephanie Curry, where are you? You are our winner. Whoop, whoop, thank you. Love your hair, girl. Seriously, your hair's amazing. Silver necklace that was on the display, donated by Tammy Harold. Thank you, Tammy. Where are you, girlfriend? Where are you? Tammy? Okay, Tammy's in the hall. She's getting ready for all you silent auction winners to pay your money. I'm sorry, Kim Beckworth. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. Awesome. You got a beautiful silver necklace. Thank you for donating. The vintage Murano glass blown clown from Italy, donated by June Waller. Where are you, June? This is an amazing piece. You just got it, Candace Lehman. Amazing. Seriously, nice job. The freshwater pearls, donated by Jane Shaffron. Where are you, Jane? Jane, I know you're here somewhere. Okay, if not, I'm sorry, she stepped out. The freshwater pearls, hand-woven 18-inch, Regina Lewis, of course. Nice, amen. And then the last one, women's suffrage U.S. Mint coin, donated by Dan and Shelley Roars. We got Sloan Goodwin. Seriously, whoop, whoop, way to go. It's one of my favorite pieces, thank you. All right, so that is your silent auction. We had a couple giveaways again. You did not pay for this. This is a free raffle. Can I draw? Yay, I never get to draw. This is special for me. I never get to draw. We usually give somebody else. All right, you got your tickets ready? All right, the first one is for the June Waller donated Valentine Bear, number 644-430. Who wins it? 644-430. Nice, there we go. There's our winner right there. 644-430. And the second item in our giveaways, again, you did not pay for this, for those of our on our admin team, no raffle intended. It was totally free, totally. If you need any information about doing a raffle in the state of Colorado, just let me know. This is an awesome story. All right, winner of our gift basket with wine and some awesome, I think there's a notepad in there from the League of Women Voters, 644-407. Who's my winner? 644-407. Oh, nice, Yolanda. Whoop, whoop. Love it. Seriously, you're awesome. Thank you, got it. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Yolanda. Can we take Miss Yolanda to the hold on. Thank you. Leroy will do it. Perfect. You win the gift basket. Enjoy that wine. I'm a beer drinker myself, so no offense, I'm not a fan. But it's all good. Sure. Yeah. Shit, I gave them to Mrs. Shaw. That woman who just went out that door, I literally gave her my cards. I'm sorry. Check that number. Check her. She went out there. All right. If you check in your program book, I forgot this technology. For those of you who are not sometimes it hurts me. This is a QR code. You've been in restaurants since the pandemic, right? Scan it, you can donate it. It's an easy way to donate to the league. So that's another thing. We talked about the love plaques. So again, the youngest person gets the bouquet, oldest gets your love plaque. So that's it. The last reason why your spokesperson is a unicorn. You ready? Because I expect you all to have at least 10 reasons, or maybe a couple. All right, I gave Prince flowers, and I was in Rolling Stone magazine because Prince is my idol, and not my idol. I gave Prince flowers, and I was in Rolling Stone magazine giving the flowers to Prince. So that, I know, that's right, because I am amazing. I know, whoop, whoop. This is about the third beer, so I am pretty amazing. So that was my number one. You're awesome. That was my number one reason, not in the top 10. So I'm going to ask you, why are you a unicorn? I hope you have at least 5 or 10 reasons why you're a unicorn, but those were my 10. Honorary pics. I'm going to ask you, go back there, take some pics with these amazing unicorns. I consider each and every one of you a unicorn in my book. So my definition of unicorn was earlier. If you're a league member, I need you to stand up. I got 2 members, Marcy Morrison and Mollie Wiliams, with more than 50 years of service in the league. I need league members. Stand up for me, please. Detra, Marcy Morrison, where are you? I did see Marcy. There you are, Marcy Morrison. Those are your league members. Okay. So thank you, league members, for appreciate you. I thought I saw Marcy, right? Didn't I see? Okay. Son of a biscuit eater. That's another one of those things. Okay, I'm sorry. So the number for the bear, for the Valentine bear, that was me trying to be politically correct for a young child. I got you. 644-430. 644-430. If that's your number, you're the winner of the bear. Thank you for that. I'm going to give it to Ms. Michelle. She's going to take care of you. Please remember, become a member of the league. Help us continue making democracy work by becoming an active and engaged citizen. Again, this is where it starts. Check out our website, LWVPPR.org, for upcoming events. Thank you again for supporting the league. Everybody have a great day. We are out. Love the league. Yes, amen.